So Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are sort of going across the country and doing events and rallies and whatnot on the way to the DNC, where I think Tim Walz speaks on Wednesday and Kamala speaks on Thursday. I want to show you some clips here of Tim Walz on the campaign trail, and you could see yet again how not only from a policy perspective was he the right pick from Kamala, from a politics perspective, he was also the right pick because, man, he's putting on a masterclass in terms of how to rile people up and how to give a political stump speech. Watch this.
Each of these volunteers and the people who put it on, they all said it. They said it is so much better to be for something rather than against something. To be for the future, not going back. That's what people know. And we, some of us who have less hair and are old enough, can remember when you could go to Thanksgiving, watch a Steelers game with your relatives, and not complain about politics the whole time. Not be on each other's neck.
I mean, that is true to every fucking normie in the country. They're like, that's so true. Look, I feel it. You know, my family knows what I do for a living. They know I talk about politics. And so they always can't wait to talk politics with me. But I don't want to talk politics with them. It's fucking Thanksgiving. I want to chill on the couch, eat some good food, chill on the couch. But oftentimes they just can't help themselves and they bring it up to me. And I exactly what he's saying is what I think, right? Is like, really? Do we have to get into something now? Do we have to do this? Like, I don't want to do this. And then I try my best, man. I try my best to be like, yup, sure, yeah, good point, whatever you say, right? Like, I try to do that. But the fact that I'm put in a position where I gotta appease insane opinions, it just, it's so gross. And he's right. People don't want this. I mean, Trump is basically a cult leader now. And for people to support him and not realize that, it's like, you don't understand how silly you look to everybody who's not in the cult, right? When you talk, it's like, like, what are we doing here? So we could just drop it and not talk politics, but sometimes they can't help it. I'm sure it's like that at every Thanksgiving where you have a variety of opinions in the room.
Because you shared a commitment to democracy, a commitment to personal freedoms, a commitment to public education, a commitment to infrastructure.
He's spitting.
We don't call each other names. We don't do it. And we don't use the least fortunate amongst us as punchlines for our jokes because they're our neighbors. They're our neighbors. And so you're getting an opportunity to see the best side of America. And for the young people here, they maybe haven't seen a campaign like this because of COVID, because of things that's happening. This is a chance to bring out that joy, turn the page, and look to the future. This idea of going forward. So Doug is right. He told you, my kids were backstage in awe. He didn't tell you they were probably in awe because they could not believe that I got through that thing and through that speech, that was amazing to them. But I'll tell you what, they have felt part of this family because they can feel the decency radiating off these people. They can see the commitment. They know that children matter. They know that family matters. They know that individuals matter. And this leader knows that it's not any of government's business to be in your healthcare decisions. Those are your decisions.
Just killing it. I got another one for you. So this one, they spoke to a high school football team. Can you imagine being on this high school football team and you're told like a day before, like, by the way, you got to come to the speech tomorrow. It's the vice president and the governor of Minnesota who is going to be her vice president. And just, you could tell this guy was a football coach. You could see it. You could see it because of how he's able to just absolutely nail this. Watch this.
I know it'd be easy, especially now. Our politics has been pretty ugly. Our politics has seemed pretty negative. Our politics is something that I know what I fear most. Young people turn away from it rather than turning into it. Politics isn't that much different than this. It's about something bigger than themselves. It's about setting a future goal and trying to reach it. It's about doing it with dignity and hard work. It's about doing it with humility. And when you lose, you walk across the field and you shake hands with the other team and know they played hard too.
That is literally the polar opposite philosophy from Donald Trump. All right, hey, when you lose, it is what it is. You go over there, you shake their hand, know that they fought their ass off too. Trump's like, when I lose, I didn't actually lose. I can't lose. I'm going to say it's impossible for me to lose, and I'm going to lie. Okay. All right.
But we're all in it together to try and make it better. And things like investing in this public school and having, I can't imagine what this place looks like when it's filled with folks and the lights are on and the leaves are turning and that game's in the fourth quarter and somebody has to make that play. Somebody has to step up and you look to each side of you and you know, I trust them. I trust them to make that play. Our country's not that different. Our neighbors want to be with you. Our neighbors want to do what's right. And the more we figure out that we're in this thing together and we have more in common than we have separated, we're going to do a heck of a lot better. So I have to tell you, thanks for taking some time. Thanks for giving us the privilege to stand on this field because you earn the right to be on this field. You earn it with a lot of sweat. You earn it with a lot of time in the weight room. You earn it with the folks who came before you and know that they care how you conduct yourselves on this. And we feel the same way. We have a responsibility to the American public to conduct ourselves with dignity, conduct ourselves with a vision, and to conduct ourselves in all of this when football's done right, it is just fun as heck to play the game. And that's the way things can be. So I have to tell you, I am just honored to be with this leader. I'm honored with someone who's showing us that. I'm honored with someone who's out doing politics with a smile on her face and with a sense that everybody matters. And we're here in this space to say it's not just a cliche. Our future is with you, and we have a responsibility to deliver it to you in good shape, to make sure that we're doing the right things to give you a good shot at the future. And so for me, it's a privilege to be on this team. It's a privilege to see this leader do it with such joy.
Did you know that the new thing that the right is doing is they're opposed to Kamala and Tim Walz's line about like joy? But we're trying to be happy warriors, and we're doing this to try to, bring back joy, have a joy in politics. Ben Shapiro said, no, you shouldn't get joy out of politics. Never. It's like, what a dark, dark view of the world, right? Politics can be a source of joy if you're actually solving problems. If you make it so medical bills is no longer the number one cause of bankruptcy, that's going to bring a lot of joy to the country. And that's a good thing. Ben's like, nope. We shouldn't have joy. You shouldn't get joy out of politicians. You shouldn't get joy out of politics. Okay, well then that says a lot about your ideology, doesn't it? But look, man, this guy's good. This guy's good on the campaign trail. He knows exactly what he's doing. There is no doubt about it. He was fucking born to do this. And look, I'll admit, it is possible that, like, his folksy, everyman demeanor, like America's dad sort of vibe to him, that wouldn't have landed with me as much if his record sucked, right? Because then I'd be like, is this an act? It's probably an act, right? But the fact of the matter is, he actually nails the folksy, happy, America's dad bit because, number one, I think it's who he really is and it's authentic. And number two, he delivered. He delivered. And that's all that really matters at the end of the day. And so he's telling these kids, he's like, look, it's our job to hand off to you something that's manageable and something that's workable and something that's positive. Like, that's our job now. If we're going to run the country, we better do it in a way where you guys look at us and you're proud and we handed the baton off to you and you're ready to go and you're building off of our accomplishments. We're not, dragged 100 years back in the past. And again, it lands because he did it with a 1-seat majority in Minnesota. Universal free school breakfast, free school lunch, legal weed, carbon-free electricity by 2040, tax rebates for the working class up to $1,300. One of my personal favorites, 12 weeks paid family leave and 12 weeks paid sick leave. Those things are a big deal. Banned gay conversion therapy because it's a scam. Did red flag laws for guns so that if somebody's posting online, I'm going to do a mass shooting at my school tomorrow, you can legally confiscate their guns. Imagine arguing the opposite side of that one. Imagine doing that. He did universal background checks for guns. He did automatic voter registration, free public college if you make under $80,000, massive multi-billion-dollar increase in K-12 school funding. Like sectoral bargaining for nursing home workers, raising wages. He raised the minimum wage for small businesses. I mean, guys. And when he was in Congress, he opposed the Wall Street bailouts. He voted against the outsourcing deals. He's got a 100% voting record from Planned Parenthood. He wants to codify Roe v. Wade. He did right to repair, did non-compete clauses, because those are horrible and predatory against workers. Raised taxes on multinational corporations. I mean, the list goes on, right? Protected construction workers from wage theft. The authentic America's Dad bit lands because he actually fucking delivered, right? And so I don't know, man. Things have shifted. Things have shifted, and man, did she make the right choice. People were joking that she needs to pick the whitest man in America to balance out the ticket, and I'll be damned if she didn't pick the whitest man in America. She picked, as many were saying on Twitter, the perfect cracker. That indeed looks like the perfect cracker. An economic populist who's from, just a middle-class background. He's one of the poorest members. He was one of the poorest members in Congress when he was there. He still, has relatively little compared to other politicians, and he didn't go to an Ivy League school. Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. He knows what the fuck he's doing. And it really goes to show you, Crystal made this point, that, instead of having all rich people in our politics, we need a little bit of class diversity, don't we? Because somebody from a more meager background, look at what they bring to the table. They bring a hell of a lot to the table. They bring a totally different perspective. They know how much a little bit of help from the government, how far that can go. And that's something you don't see from a lot of the technocratic, elitist lawyer class in the Democratic Party. This is definitely, it's a new day, man. And it's a beautiful thing. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.